Welcome to the Good Movies Podcast. Low IQ Media and Kenny from Kenny's Movie Palace coming
There
at
we
you
go.
live from parts unknown. No. So, what's going on, Kenny? Anything new?
Nothing much. I just watched the first season of Reacher today. Have you checked that out yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
How's that? That's supposed to be good.
yeah, it's very good. The kid that playing Reacher is very really good at the role. I enjoyed it.
I like the movies.
But yeah,
There's some there are ones I need to kind of go back and rewatch. I've watched them both once. There's two, isn't there? Reacher 1 and 2.
hmm
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
uh,
Jack, I think Jack Reacher and then No Way Back.
yeah.
It's the other one.
Yeah, I actually, I have watched some television here recently. The one that's really spectacular that I've watched is called The Bear. I don't know if you've checked that out.
What do you think of that?
I think it's really good. I think it's excellent. One
See,
of the best TV shows I've seen in a while.
working in kitchens like I
Mhm.
did, uh, they don't yell "Yes, chef" every when you're doing orders and stuff, because I worked in a restaurant as a cook, and they don't yell that. They'll just say, we need this like ASAP, or we need that yesterday. Not everything's
Well,
like, yes, chef. You know.
that's kind of addressed in the first episode. Like the people, that's how they do in like professional kitchens, like these high end kitchens. They refer to people as everybody's referred to as chef. It's just makes them feel like I've never worked like that, but that's
I have. That's why I said
yeah,
I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't buy it.
yeah,
You had respect
yeah,
because the chef would always check, but the chef was like kind of like he would like be like the overseer of everything, making
yeah,
sure the plates, kind of be
yeah,
like a sous chef kind of thing.
yeah. But like if you rewatch the first episode, he kind of addresses that because the staffer's like, "Why are you calling a chef for?" And he's like, "Well, that's how we do it in like these that's how we do it." I think it kind of makes it seem like there's not a hierarchical kind of um like a hierarchy going on in the kitchen kind of situation.
Yeah,
So
I didn't buy the girl. I wasn't a big fan of hers
which one?
in the show.
Yeah,
But hey,
yeah,
it's getting like I think it's like on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like 99%. You know, uh,
yeah,
fresh. So
yeah. I thought
I'm,
it was
I'm
excellent because it's like some of I don't know if you watched this. I mean, the second season it gets really good, but the first season it is excellent as well. But like yeah, it's just the intensity of some of the episodes. There's a Christmas episode that's like an hour long, and it's like probably the most intense piece of film I'd ever seen, even in a movie or anything. Like the
oh,
whole
okay.
episode just builds and builds and builds. It's a family Christmas. It's like their whole family's having the Christmas, and it's basically the whole cast, but it's in the past. It's like not it doesn't take place in the present. It's when his brother's still alive
Oh,
and
okay.
and it's like this increasing tension throughout the whole thing to the point at the very end that the mother like crashes her car through
Oh,
the
wow.
living
Okay.
room for yeah, and I mean it's like this crazy, like everybody's drinking and it's just and she's like cooking and like he and the main character in the show, he's trying I can always forget his name or Bear. Bear is like trying to help her and other people are trying she's increasingly getting more agitated at people and it's just yeah, it's an incredible episode.
I'll
It's
check
so
it out.
intense. I haven't rewatched that's the one episode I haven't rewatched because it's so like it like almost gives you anxiety watching it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally think that it's an incredible show myself. What didn't you like about the girl?
She was like too over eager. Uh, it was like she was the only one that was like listening to him. Like, is it his cousin that or his brother? was the brother, right? That got shot, that turned it, and then he was like
Yeah,
at stuff, and the black guy wasn't listening to him. Like they weren't all listening to him and stuff like that when he first started. And it was like, because I'm thinking to myself, like looking back, it's like, he's working at like a hoagie shop or a steak shop or something like that, and he's trying to do a Beck Finn kind of high end food with
yeah,
just basically sandwiches. And I'm just thinking to myself, and then he wants to change the menu, and
yeah,
you change the menu, and you're like, especially when they've been, how long were they in the neighborhood for, like 40 years or something like that?
yeah,
Can't change the menu overnight
yeah,
because you have your
yeah,
regular to everything. So that's
yeah.
what,
But that's kind of the point, though. He's wanting to make it into a high end restaurant.
yeah,
That's his whole goal, is to turn it into the Bear, the restaurant. And he like you got to have you watched all of it? Have
I
you
watched
watched
the
season?
first 4 episodes.
Okay, you got to watch all of it because it's
I will. I
because
I just got like really annoyed with the girl in it, who was basically an ass kisser to him. So
not really. Like they butt heads a lot to the point where she actually quits, and like the seventh episode she quits, and because she actually makes a dish, like she keeps trying to work on dishes to serve, and he's like she's working on this dish, and she asked him to taste it, and he was like, yeah, he's like, yes, it's great, it's wonderful, and she's like, when can we serve it? When can we put it on the menu? When can we put it on the menu? And she keeps bugging him about it, he's finally like, chef, it's good, but it's not. I
mhm.
didn't say it was perfect. It's not ready. And so she's like made several of them, and all the staff likes it. But then she like, there's like a customer eating, and she takes a plate of it out to him and said, "Here, I have one of these left," and gives it to him. So in the next episode, the final episode of the season, yeah, well, so you see him eating it, and then in the next episode, the final episode, like you find out he was a food critic, and he ate it and he really liked it and he wrote it up, and like, so they have this blow up between them, and she like quits. But
Wow.
yeah, but at the very, well, since you need to watch it, and you need to watch season 2, because it's season 2, like, the character annoys you a lot during the season is like his cousin, because
Yeah.
his cousin constantly button heads with him. He's the one that doesn't want the change to happen. Is always questioning his authority, basically. So in the second season, see the second season, they at the end of the first season, they find a bunch of money. His brother had stashed a bunch of money in these cans,
Oh, okay.
tomato sauce cans,
Mhm.
and he finds that out at the end of the season. So he ends up, I guess, having enough money to pay back the guy he owes money to. His brother had borrowed money to, and so that guy's staking them to. So they basically are gutting the building so they can build the bear. And
Oh,
so
okay.
like, and so he sends the one guy who's like who who's the baker, who's baking the bread, he wants to make the donuts and stuff. I don't know if you got far enough into that, but
That
he's
was the black
basically,
guy,
yeah, he's
right?
making cakes. He makes the cakes and stuff. Well, he sends him to Copenhagen to learn
Yeah,
more.
pastries
Um,
and stuff.
well, no, to learn desserts. Excuse me, for to have like excellent desserts and stuff. And he's training with a certain chef there. And then later episode, which is another excellent episode, where he sends his cousin to work at a restaurant in Chicago. Where he worked at is considered the best, with the best, in at least in the show, it's considered the best restaurant in the world. It's like a 3-star restaurant,
Oh, okay.
and he goes there, and they first have him just like polishing forks, and he's kind of butting heads with there's there's an Asian guy who's like the kind of the manager, uh, and he's like butting heads with him a little bit. And the guy's finally like, they finally, it's like, they go outside and have a conversation, and he's like, but so he's only going to be there like a week. So the next day he comes in, he's like gets there early and he's polishing the forks, and the guy gives him a uniform and he has to put it on. It's a suit, and he has him. It's basically he's learning how to. He's going to be like front of the house. He's the guy that reads the crowd, the people, and he's showing him their system of how they do that and how they do it without talking, out around the guests.
Right.
And so they have this whole system of how they run. They run the front of the house versus how it comes to the back of house. So all this efficiency. So he's sending these people, and he also sends the black lady and one of the other chef, the older chef,
Right.
she sends them to a culinary school. So he's basically sending these people to learn how he's done it. And all these places, he's worked with these people. You find out at the end, like he's worked, this one guy has worked with him. The guy in Copenhagen has worked with him before at this restaurant. And he's worked with all these people, and he knows all these people. And he's teaching all these people how to be like him, so it's this really awesome team building, and it's just the way it all culminates. It's really amazing to
Wow.
see it. So I recommend you go back and finish it and watch
I
season
will.
2, because it's really good.
Yeah, there's like some shows that I don't like that catch everybody's like eye and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And today I just felt like watching something like action, so that's why I went back and watched Reacher. And now I just have to watch the second season. I don't know if it's premiered yet, but yeah, that's a really good show.
Yeah, I was trying to think what else. Yeah, I've been watching. I watched a couple other ones too. It's been on a couple of years, so I didn't watch it again. The other one's Reservation Dogs.
Well, I
And
haven't. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it before.
it's pretty good. And also, there's one called This Fool. It's been on a couple seasons. I think it's
Oh,
like in. Yeah,
have
This
you?
Fool's like it's like a kind of based around kind of a Mexican guy and his family.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Have you
Blue
ever heard
Beetle.
of the White Lotus?
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I just seen I seen a commercial like before you go to
Yeah,
the show, and that was on there. So I never heard of it before. I know uh, the girl from what the hell's her name? Jennifer Coolidge. She's in it, and Aubrey Plaza's in it. But other
that's
than that,
cool.
I don't even know what it is about.
The something here.
Got any goodies this week that you picked up?
Yeah, well, speaking of Aubrey Plaza, I picked this movie up.
What did I seen that you picked that up? What did you think of it?
Excuse me.
Because I love Alison Brie.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's just kind of a quirky rom com,
Mm-hmm.
and I also like Alison Brie and Aubrey Plaza, both of them together, because they were both in what's the name of that show? Shoot, um, Community. They were both in
Yeah.
Community. You remember that show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and with Joe McHale,
Mm-hmm.
which he shows up in. He also shows up in The Bear as well.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, he's like a chef. He's like in the first or second episode. You
Oh
should have
yeah,
seen him.
yeah. He was the overbearing that kept on yelling at the bear.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
ain't right, this ain't right, and he was having
yeah,
flashbacks.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's the only time he shows up though. But
Oh, okay.
basically this Alison Brie, like she's like a manager at this it's like an Olive Garden like restaurant. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not, and she gets sent, just like Olive Garden has. They have like they have a program where I guess they send their managers or cooks or something to Italy and to learn how to, that kind of stuff. And so she gets sent on this program to go to Italy. So she goes to Italy, and like it's just this whole messed up thing. They advertise it like they're going to get to stay in this really nice villa, and like they actually have this like crappy hotel out back of the villa that Stacy got to stay in. Then the door doesn't lock to her room, and so all this weird stuff's going on. And she the guy that's the owner of the company, she like kind of falls for him, and he like she get and excuse me, um Aubrey Plaza, excuse me, she's like his assistant, and she like kind of takes her to meet him and have it's just kind of crazy. It's kind of a crazy little story where he's like, and then all this weird stuff happens. So it's a pretty good movie. I'd check it out. These are all like it's like an IFC movie, so I don't know if you can find them anywhere. They might be on Tubi or something,
Oh,
possibly.
okay.
I don't know if they are or not, but it's probably not, because I think IFC has their own. Don't they have their own streaming service or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I think it's AMC Plus.
Okay.
I think that's
There's
where.
too much of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't give a good description of it. It's kind of
No, you did fine. That's basically the story. You know.
yeah. I mean, it goes into some weird stuff without telling you the whole movie. That's my problem. Sometimes if there's something somebody wants to watch, sometimes I don't care spoiling a movie, especially if it's old. If it's an older movie, it's not a big deal. It's like if it's 50 years old, you should have seen it already,
Right.
kind of deal. But like this one, yeah, I'd recommend it. It was fun. It wasn't, not woke or nothing like that. It doesn't have any craziness. Is it what's her name? Her name right in the middle. I can't think of her name. If you can see, God, she was on Saturday Night Live. It's not Sherry O'Terry. It's Molly Shannon. Excuse me.
Oh
She's in
yeah,
it.
Molly's in it. Yeah, she plays like
Yeah.
her best friend, on there. Like, oh, we're gonna hang out all the time, playing like the
Well,
Molly Shannon character.
she's just kind of this clingy older lady that tries, and she's really not in the movie a whole lot. After a while, they kind of, and even Aubrey Plaza kind of leaves out after a while. She doesn't have a much of a role. She kind of drops out. But it's
Yeah.
just, but like, but after like she has like this date with the owner of the company. Like I forget something. She goes to this like really fancy party with him, and like you can feel that something's off with all the people, but you're not sure. So there's this one girl, she's dancing. All these guys keep, like, she's dancing with him at first, and this other guy cuts in and starts dancing with her, and then this other younger guy cuts in and starts dancing, and that younger guy's girlfriend like kind of picks a fight with her. She gets real jealous and like picks a fight with her, so she has to leave. And then on the way back, Aubrey Plaza takes her to some other bar, and they're like dancing and stuff, and they end up like making out at the end of it. And like
Oh, okay.
but then she like stops it, and then everything kind of falls apart at that point. And like, so then you see the other girls that are in the group start like leaving. Like they have these like seminars they're going to, and they're really crappy. They're just like the guy that's running them's like this kind of creepy guy that's always filming them. Like when they're like they like the other girls start like missing, so they're like running off, and he's like seeing them. So at the end, basically they finally bust into the house at the very end, and all these old people and just all these people are having this big orgy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they're all naked, and it's just it's that kind of thing. It's just crazy. But like in the scene where they're at this like really fancy like ball or whatever, they're at this big party they're having. Like I was like, yeah, I believe these are a bunch of swingers, because they're all acting real funny. They're acting weird. I was like, I saw that kind of coming. I just wasn't sure if it was going to happen. But yeah, that's so. Yeah, it's kind of just kind of a little bit. What I liked about it, it's like kind of low beat. It's not like real upbeat. The movie, it's kind
Hmm.
of like Alison Brie's character is kind of she has kind of low self esteem, and she's like not really, she not like the real version of it's fun. I like that movie. I
Good.
liked it. I liked it. I would recommend checking it out. It's nothing special, but it's nothing bad either. It's just a regular old movie.
Right.
What'd you pick up?
I didn't pick up anything this week. I've just been watching basically everything from my collection. Basically, I watched 8 episodes of Reacher, and then I
No.
watched early this morning. I couldn't. I got up like really early. I couldn't sleep, and I watched this. It's a beat like it's on Tubi, and it's called The Great Bering Sea. It's sort of like a asylum movie.
Yeah.
Um, like bad CGI and people that you don't know except for like one like has been actor, that was on, and the has been actor was Kevin Dobson, who was on Kojak and Knots Landing for you '80s fans. Um,
Yeah.
so he was the father, and it's really bad. See, I like those like schlocky, like cheesy movies
Yeah.
from like the Asylum. I love their movies. I think they're really fun. Um, and that's basically what this is. It's like this like bat that looks like a tar, basically, and
Yeah.
comes and attacking like these people on a ship. So I thought it
Nice.
was I thought it was funny, you know. So I
Nice.
watched that, and then there was another one that I watched yesterday, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, it has Ron Perlman in it. Um, let me look really quick because I wrote it down. It was like the old man. One day, uh, one day, one day as a lion. That's also on Tubi. And it has Ron Perlman and Scott Kahn,
Yeah.
and not Ron Perlman. I'm sorry, J.K. Simmons.
Okay.
Okay, and basically J.K. Simmons is in there for basically a mortgage payment. He's basically in there for 5 minutes, like the
Nice.
beginning and end. And Kahn plays this guy that he owes like a lot of money to, like it was $25,000 to this childhood guy. Frank Grillo's the guy that he owes the money to, and Scott Kahn's son gets incarcerated for uh, for murder. So he's trying to get uh, money out. Basically, that's why he did the loan shark, so he could get a lawyer for his kid. His
Yeah.
kid was totally innocent. He wasn't involved in it. He was just basically at the house when it happened, and he meets up with this um, waitress called Lola, and never seen her before. She's really pretty, and they basically are like on the run after going after J.K. Simmons. So it was an okay movie. I didn't realize like how tiny Scott Kahn was
Yeah.
because I wasn't a big fan of Hawaii Five O, the remake.
Yeah.
So I never watched it, but the dude's probably about 5'4"
Wow.
because he was standing next to the waitress, and the waitress had flats on, and she was probably about 5'10", so there was like a big height
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't realize how tiny he was.
Yeah, I believe he was in what was he? He had a small role in damn it. Why am I forgetting everything? Well fuck. Never mind. He was crap. Why can't I think of the name of that damn show? I have it on.
Oh, and the other movie I watched that was awesome. I really liked this, Revenge. Did you ever see Revenge?
Entourage is what I'm thinking. Revenge? I don't think so.
Oh, okay, dude, you got to get it. It's on Hamilton. It's at Hamilton Book for $1.95 on DVD.
Yeah.
I just got it because I had heard so many people talking about it.
Yeah.
Basically, it's sort of like The Hunt. You've seen The Hunt with
Yeah.
Betty Gilpin, and this girl, she goes up with 3 guys, and she's basically there as like the mistress for the one younger guy, and they're like rich executives and stuff. Well, I mean, she is smoking hot. It's somebody I never, Matilda Lutz, I think her name is. Never heard of her, never seen her before, but man, she is absolutely stunning. And they do like horrific things to her, you know. And basically, she wants to get out of there. So the guy pushes her off a cliff, and basically, I don't know how she survived it. You just got to let your mind, go away when you're watching this movie.
Yeah.
So I would say he was like a heroin dealer or something. So he had given her this stuff to hide, and she had it around her necklace. So she took it, and it basically, you could like saw off your arm without even feeling it. That's how powerful this drug was.
Wow.
So basically, it's just basically her getting revenge on those 3 guys. And it's bloody, it's gory, and it's good because
Yeah.
the action is so good. And it's called Revenge. It's from 2018. Never heard of it before. I just picked it up because it was $1.95 on Hamilton Book.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'll pick it up. Wonder if it's
Yeah.
available on Blu-ray somewhere.
I don't know. I had just seen it like when because Hamilton Book just did another drop this week. Nothing that interests me, but I was just like, because I don't mind taking a chance with like $1.95 or even $4.95 movies sometimes. It's the movies that are like more expensive, like when you get in the $10 or $11 range and you've never heard of it or seen it before. But a lot of the movies that they get on Hamilton Book are on Tubi. So I'd rather pay nothing for it and watch a couple ads than, spending money on something I'll never watch,
This is one I picked up. This is another IFC movie, Werewolves Within.
Oh, okay. I heard about that. Yeah.
It is. It has Milana Vayntrub in it. I think it's Vayntrub. I don't know how you pronounce her last name, but she's the AT&T girl.
Oh, yeah.
And it also has John Richardson in it, which is the black guy here on the front cover there. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's they're like in this small, like it looks like a northern town. There's a lot of snow, and she and Milana, her character is like she's like the post girl, and he's like this new, basically like a park ranger who's coming to town to be the new park ranger, and like it's basically weird things start happening, and like there's this big snowstorm, and then all the power gets shut off. But you kind of get introduced to all the characters in town, and they're like kind of a bunch of assholes, really,
Oh, okay.
for the most part. And so they end up in like one, like there's like an inn there's like a hotel, like an old timey hotel, and they're all like kind of in it. It feels like kind of like a Clue type movie a little bit, and like there's like the power gets cut out, and like he's like the park ranger guy. He's like kind of investigating around, and he's like sees these big slash marks in like the generators, so there's no backup power either.
Right.
And like he finds a dead guy outside, and everybody keeps talking about how They keep bringing up like werewolves or something. There could be werewolves or something like that.
Oh
So
wow.
everybody eventually just kind of like they keep kind of investigating and stuff. And there's this one woman there who's like a scientist. She's like an environmental scientist, but she's like trying to compare the DNA from hair she's found, and like in and the but eventually what happens, everybody just kind of keeps blaming each other for being the werewolf or something. So they
Uh,
end up they basically end up killing each other. And
oh wow.
at the very end, like everybody's dead, and like so you find out that Milana, she's the werewolf, and then she
Uh,
turns in and tries to kill him, and she eventually gets killed. But so it's kind of a horror movie, suspense horror, I guess. And
hmm.
so
Sounds
so
interesting.
it was fun. It wasn't nothing special, but it was it's worth watching. The reason I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. This is the reason why I found both of those movies, because they were dragging everything off my. They were like previews that came with this movie, and this was an actually an interesting movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of people. That came out a couple weeks ago, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I finally picked it up. Um, I haven't read anything about it beforehand, and I thought it was some kind of movie about what's his name,
Bob Ross. Yeah.
Bob Ross, and I thought it was like but it's not. It's like just a complete original about this guy who's like I guess there's some similarities it's taken from that, but the whole story's fictional. But it's
Oh okay.
so it's about this TV. He's like a TV painter. He's like at least locally famous with everybody, and like all the women are like all kind of, he's like, kind of, you think he's kind of sleeping with these women, but they all kind of want him to draw portraits of, stuff like that. And but he's slowly, like, everybody doesn't like him. So at the beginning of the movie, he's slowly being worked out for this younger woman to come in to be the TV painter on TV. Who's like, and like you kind of find out throughout that like every picture he draws is the same thing over and over again. It's the same mountain. He draws the same mountain, and you kind of figure out why he's doing that. And like,
Oh okay.
but she's like the woman who comes in like draws different things. She like one of her paintings is like like a space, it's like a UFO, like with a like shooting blood out the bottom. It's like this ridiculous stuff, but he's slowly like losing popularity, and all the people kind of move away from him, and like he's kind of have to find himself in the movie, kind of this one of these kind of things. But it's kind of downtrodden as well. It takes place in kind of a small town and everything, and it's like it's actually a pretty fun little story to watch. I really enjoyed it.
How is
Hey,
Owen Wilson in it? Because he gets on my nerves. His voice just disturbs me sometimes.
he's good.
He is
He's
good in
good.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh okay. Yeah, because he just there's something about him. Because like I really had. What did you think of uh oh god uh the Paul Anderson movie that you got last week?
Oh, I like Asteroid City. Yeah.
Asteroid City. Yeah. What did you think of that?
Well, one more thing on Paint before we jump off that is something that's odd about the movie is like it takes place in modern times. It's like current, but for some reason, like all the technology is like old. It's like if all the TVs they're watching are still like the old, square 4x3 TVs, and like for some reason, like all the studio equipment's like old, stuff like that. And like, but people are using cell phones, so it's a very weird thing. And I think it's because like his character still dresses like it's in the 70s, like, and
Oh
he's still got
really?
like the
Oh,
the
okay.
fro haircut and everything. And it's like, so there's this weird kind of dynamic going on with that stuff, and it's never really explained why. Because eventually at the end, like the studio does get a widescreen television at the very end of it. It's kind of weird. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, because that kind of I thought it was kind of like a period piece just by looking at
Yeah.
just by looking at the box.
Yeah, yeah, it's not. It's like this weird it's like this weird mixture of like the past and present.
Mm.
It's strange.
Yeah.
So you wanted to know Asteroid City. As far as
Yeah.
explaining the movie, I don't know how well
No,
I
I
can
don't think you
explain it.
can explain it, and it's
Yeah.
kind of too new to let you know. But what what did you like the movie overall?
Yes. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I liked it. It's well, the one thing I can explain about it, and I know I've seen some people, I believe what's his name? Ken, who does
Oh, mid-level
move
media.
yeah, yeah, him and his wife do one. I don't never watch it. I don't never watch it, but they do like Married with Movies or something, and they reviewed it, and like I didn't watch it, but I just seen this little caption on it, and they're like both like, "What? What? I don't know." It's like,
Oh, okay.
which Ken don't get a lot of stuff anyways. So so he's one of the people I classify as just a collector. But
Yeah.
but what's going what it is, it's like basically like a teleplay, or it's like it's about it's a play being put on. That's what Asteroid City is. It's a play, so it's the movie sets it up as that. It's not something you got to figure out. They're obviously, they show like the actors being hired and the writing process, kind of different, like flashback scenes and things like that happening.
Right.
But and like the production process of a play being put on, but that's what it is. It's a play being put on. That's why it's like kind of bizarre, because it's not like a. That's why the set looks like real cartoonish, just because it's supposed to be like a stage play being put on.
Oh,
Which,
okay.
if you watch Wes Anderson, he's really into that stuff. Like
Yeah.
from the beginning, he's from like Rushmore. There's a lot of plays going on in that, and like other movies, he's very theatrical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
theatrical.
enjoy
Yeah,
yeah, I enjoy his movies. I just didn't get this one,
yeah.
because I was a
It's
big fan of French Dispatch. I really thought that was
yeah,
good,
yeah,
and I love Grand Budapest Hotel.
yeah.
I thought that was really, really good.
I think it's one of his more bizarre movies. The one thing I wish Wes Anderson would do is get away from having these big all-star casts,
Yeah.
and maybe have 1 or 2 stars in it, and then have more. I mean, he always has some mix of. I mean, he uses people. I do like that he uses people from his other movies. He does do that a lot, but I think
Yeah.
this movie was too many stars in it. I
Yeah,
think it
because
had too many. Yeah,
what was he did Moonlight Kingdom too, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one too
yeah,
with the scouts and stuff. I thought
yeah.
Bruce Willis was really good in that. But
That's one of my favorites of his. It's probably in the top 5, which it's hard for me to rank his movies because I like most of them equally, but, um, Moonlight Moonrise Kingdom was definitely
Moonrise
one of
Kingdom,
my
I'm sorry.
opinion.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, I like that
Yeah.
because I really thought Elle Fanning was really good in that movie. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
really liked her in that movie. But
Is she in that one? Sh
it's with the kids camping, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that's Elle Fanning, though.
Oh, it's not. Let me look it up. Okay, that's gonna
I
bother
I
me now.
I may be I might be incorrect. It might be a young her, but it was a younger. No, it's definitely not Elle Fanning. I can think of the girl that's played the girl character in there. She's like looks almost like the what's her name that plays her mommy, and yeah.
Was her name
But
Susan?
yeah,
Kara Hedward. I'm sorry.
okay,
Sorry about that, guys.
that's all right. We watch so
Yeah,
many movies; they run together sometimes.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
especially like when you watch like the Wes Anderson movies, you're going to have your Tilda Swintons, you're going to have Jason Schwartzman in it, Owen Wilson, they all
Yeah.
play like these like little, I was surprised Clooney wasn't in this one.
I don't think Clooney's ever been in any of his movies.
I thought he wasn't he in Budapest?
He might have been in one scene. He
Yeah, I
might have been
thought.
in one scene. That was a movie that had a lot of his returning actors in it as well that play like little one bit roles.
Yeah,
But
because
I don't
he definitely was a Moonrise Kingdom because he was a scout leader.
not Clooney. That
No,
was
Bruce Willis.
oh no, well Bruce Willis wasn't the scout leader. He was the police officer. Edward Norton was the scout leader.
Oh, okay. That's right. Captain Sharp.
Yeah.
Like I said, they all run together. I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen Bottle Rocket, his first movie?
I've never seen that.
You need to check that out. It's probably his most conventional movie since it was his first theatrical, full length movie, and it's really good as well. See, his
Okay.
first several movies, I think it was co-wrote by Owen Wilson. It was co-wrote by him, but it's Luke and Owen in it, and a few other people, and not Dennis Hopper, but God, what's his name? I'm sorry, I see his face, and he doesn't have a real big role in it. Damn it, I can't think of what his name is. Sorry about that. But it's got one other big actor in it, and a lot of people you might see along the way in his other movies. But yeah, that's an excellent movie. It's like kind of just like a little. Well, I don't know. It's like It's not a rom com. It's not a romantic comedy necessarily. It's kind of like all of his movies, a little variety of everything. Kind of, I don't know. There's some people I can't really. I don't have the intellect to fully explain his movies. I understand them, but articulating them is another thing, which I guess
Yeah,
makes me.
he's very deep.
Yeah,
You know.
I understand a lot. I just can't articulate it back. I've got like
Okay.
this brain barrier that doesn't let me to regurgitate the knowledge I have, which I guess
Well,
makes
you're
me
like
stupid.
you're like
But
me. You watch a lot of movies, and they kind of just like run together sometimes.
yeah,
Especially when you like me. I watch like multiple movies a day,
yeah,
so it's like I'll watch it and I'll just forget about it like 10 minutes later, unless it's
yeah,
really good. You know,
yeah.
but yeah, I like Wes Anderson. I like his movies. I think he puts a lot of thought behind it, where like a lot of people don't put a lot of thought into their
Yeah.
movies. You know.
He's definitely one of the best contemporary directors that's working right now.
Yeah, another guy that I really like, and I like all of his movies except for one, Guy Ritchie. I like Guy Ritchie's movies.
Yeah.
Like I had told you a couple weeks ago, I watched The Covenant, and I wasn't really into. I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal's a leading man. Kind of, he's a
Oh
good
yeah.
actor. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
he's not like that go-to. Like, oh man, I gotta go see that next Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, the one movie I have and I haven't watched yet is that he's the lead actor in is that what's the name of that? It's God, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's the name of a X-Men character. It's not an X-Men movie though. It's what is the name of that? It's damn it. Why am I going blank
Nightcrawler.
on Nightcrawler? Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's supposed to be really good. So I haven't checked that out yet. So
Yeah, it's funny because I watched. I picked up on eBay. It was like $4. Ambulance, and that
oh
was
that
okay.
movie's good. I like the ambulance a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah.
I liked it, you know, but
Yeah. It was a Michael Bay movie that it was the first one I've seen in a while. I mean, Michael Bay does a lot of he's done like the Transformers stuff and all that stuff, which was, the last Transformers was not good that came out recently. I didn't think it was a very good movie.
thank you.
And
I didn't think it was good either because I'm not a Pete Davidson fan,
yeah,
and just having him, as like one of the Transformers trying to, oh, that's cool, dude. Yo, slap me five. And just like
yeah,
he just annoys me. He's like one of those guys. I think he made a pact with the devil, to where he's at. Because I just don't get him. I don't think he's funny. You know,
yeah,
he's not leading man looks either. I
yeah,
don't get it.
yeah, yeah. I don't either. Um, see some of the latter Transformers movies, the Michael Bay ones with what's his name in it?
Shia LaBeouf.
No, no, he
Oh,
he was in the
Marky
first
Mark.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, I kind of liked those movies. I thought they were a little bit darker in scope, and the movies had a little bit larger scope to them. Which see the problem with the Transformers movies, it need to be like a really large, like almost like a space movie because if you get into the Transformers, even the cartoons and stuff, is they're more, the TV show, a lot of it takes place on Earth, obviously, but like if you want to make a really good movie, you almost have to have this space-faring type of movie with them where they're traveling to multiple planets. It's just
Hmm.
they're too reserved, and I felt like Bumblebee was a good movie. I like
I
Bumblebee a
like
lot.
that too. Yeah.
But this movie, now I like the design of the Transformers, the newer design of the Transformers versus the older, because they match the classic design. But I just didn't like this movie. And it wasn't the woke stuff in it. It did have a little bit. It was really the cringy stuff at the very beginning. I thought there was stupid stuff like there was stupid stuff in the beginning, like where it was the museum curator
Oh
where she
yeah,
was
and
like
she's
she
like
was
the only
taking.
person that could figure that out.
Yeah. Well, and that girl, but the curator, the one that kept like taking credit for her,
Yeah.
like and she was like, you know, she took credit for it, and she was kind of like it was kind of hinting at like there's this racism going on, and she's like keeping the black girl down kind of vibe,
Yeah.
and like I'm like this person, if that existed in reality, she wouldn't have a job if she acted like that.
Right.
And she wouldn't. She kept stepping in, taking credit for everything the girl was doing, and she obviously was too stupid to do the job. Type of situation. I was like, this is just ridiculous. This is like something that don't exist in reality. I didn't like that. Like all of it happens at the beginning. Like later in the movie, there's not as much of it. It's not so bad, and I just didn't really like the lead characters very much. They just weren't
Yeah.
very likable. Like I could stand Shia LaBeouf way over these people, and Shia LaBeouf was definitely one of the worst parts of the early movies. He was just overacting so bad, and Shia LaBeouf's he's a decent actor too,
I
but
think he's a good actor.
Michael Bay, like in those movies, he takes the whole George Lucas directing style, at least the George Lucas, like if you hear actors talk about like when he made the first Star Wars, he kept telling the actors just faster and more intense, faster and more intense. That's what he wanted. That's what his directions was, faster and more intense. And like I think he takes that too seriously or something for some reason. It's like rushed. It's like the dialogue's rushed. It's like we're trying to shoot this as fast as we can. Get it the next scene. And it was just annoying. It's just like the whole family dynamic was weird, and if they would get rid of I think a Transformers movie without the human element at all, and it's just the Transformers would be really cool, you
Yeah.
know. And they didn't. And a lot of people were complaining like a lot of people are complaining about the beast part of it, like the primal promise, the primal, uh, Optimus Primal,
Um,
excuse me.
yeah.
Optimus Primal and stuff like you obviously never watched Beast Wars because you don't understand any of that plot line. And I heard a lot of people that should know about that bitching about stuff like that in there. It's like, well, if you watch Beast Wars, you would understand. And Beast Wars was really popular and really good, actually. And and I'm like, if that's, but other than that, like the movie wasn't that great. It just didn't meet my expectations of a good movie, a good follow up to the Bumblebee movie for sure.
Yeah. I was disappointed in it too.
Yeah,
I was just like, with the brother going for the um the job, and didn't get
yeah,
it, and then goes into the car, and it was just like kind of I don't know. I I just that was like a one and done. You know, I hear these collectors that like say, "Oh, I didn't like the movie. Oh, but I'll pick it up on Steelbook."
yeah,
What, just to have, dude?
yeah,
It's like if I don't
yeah,
like a movie, I'm never gonna watch it again. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's true. Well, I might buy it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I'll probably pick it up and steelbook.
I just,
Maybe. Yeah,
because
because
I
I'd
have.
like to give it another watch. I still want to watch it again, just not in the theater. Not
Oh,
paying
okay.
theater. Yeah, but yeah. I don't know. I don't mind that too much. Oh, I did, before I move on to that, I did pick up last week while we were talking about that, I did pick up that on Blu-ray. I had it on
Oh, you did?
DVD.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, the movie's not in here. I watched it this afternoon, actually. So, again, had to see the Shelley Long scene. She looked
Oh,
so
making
damn
scrambled
good in that
eggs.
scene. Yeah, Jesus. God, she
Outstanding.
was she was hot, man. Yeah,
Yes, she was.
yeah,
She just had a birthday this week too. She was 76, I think. But
yeah,
yeah, that was yeah, I remember seeing that on like our local HBO was Prism in the Philadelphia area. And I
yeah.
remember seeing that and I'm just like, man, when can I get a woman to make me scrambled eggs like that?
Yep, yep. Some of them will. Some of them will.
Yep.
Yep. Some of them you get to do it naked too. Some of them just
Yeah.
want to do it naked. Yeah. You'd be surprised at how many girls, walk around the house naked. Like that. Do it. Yeah.
Put me in that house.
Yeah. Well, I've had them, but not lately though. Not with my kidney failure. So I'm not too. And getting older too, you don't pine after them as much when you've had a lot of crappy relationships with women. So that's why I never got married. I just never found one I wanted to never to settle down with. So be it. But I picked this up this week. This is Ultraman, the battle. I think it's Battle for Kaiju or something like that. Yeah, Battle Kaiju. That's what it's called. Battle Kaiju. It's not Battle
Now
for. This is
I seen that on your Instagram.
yeah.
And
I
now are they like is this like a series or just one episode?
No, what it is really I didn't know what it was. I forgot to take my glasses into Best Buy when I bought it.
Come
I
on,
bought it kind of
John.
off of it having a cool. Well, it has a lot of small writing on it. I knew it was
Right.
Ultraman. Well, I collect Ultraman. I've got like all the Ultraman stuff. I
Oh,
love
okay.
Ultraman. So,
You would have
and
picked it up anyway.
yes, it wasn't something. It's just a blind buy, literally a blind buy. But I didn't understand exactly what it was when I bought it. So it's a collection of all the kaiju scenes from Ultraman. Ultraman always fights like some kaiju in all the episodes.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a collection of the best kaiju scenes.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool collection. I thought the artwork was just so awesome. It looks like reminiscent of like old Godzilla covers. So
Yeah, there was one I was going to bring up that was on Hamilton book a couple months ago, but I decided against getting it because Rayu
yeah,
God or something and it was getting like I had seen like there's a couple guys on YouTube that I watched that like are into like Godzilla and like
Yeah.
Gamera and all all those movies,
Yeah.
and they panned it. They said it wasn't really good. I have the other two, Raja, God
Yeah.
of God of something, and but they said this new one was terrible, so I didn't pick it up for that reason.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to check some of those out. They're not Godzilla though, are they?
No, it's
Yeah. It's
Reiju or
because I
something.
got I like that stuff, but I just can't keep up with everything. There's just so much stuff out there. And I
Oh
like that.
yeah,
I'd like to have more. I love Japanese, and I like anime. I like some anime, and I don't like all anime. There's a lot of anime that's just dumb, but it's hard to cipher out what's good and what's bad.
yeah.
Like
I'm not too big on anime. I just I've never like I like when you were saying about like the Transformers and they're like I watched like the Smurfs and
yeah,
like in the 80s like I was like really really super into like me and my brother were like really super into Meanwhile at the Hall of Justice, the Super Friends like in the 70s.
yeah,
Loved that
yeah,
show. I
yeah,
could watch that anytime.
yeah.
But I couldn't get into the Transformers stuff. So
Did you kind of like that first Smurfs movie that came out? Because I
no,
kind of liked it. You didn't like it?
no, I like the second one though.
Oh yeah,
But the
I don't think
but
I've seen it.
the first the first one I didn't like it, and I liked because Doogie was in it,
Yeah,
his voice was in it. But yeah, I didn't like the. I don't know if it was a story or just I'm just used to the animation of the
yeah,
TV show The Smurfs.
yeah,
So, but I liked the second one. I did watch the second one with my next door neighbor's kids.
yeah.
So
I
I
picked
did enjoy that one.
I picked that up on late Steelbook from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Terrifier 2.
Oh, okay. What did you think of that?
I've not watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it. Like I'm not a big horror person, but probably be a lot more popular on there if I was a horror. If I was into horror and listen to heavy metal, I don't do either one. Not big horror.
I listen to two things. I listen to Yacht Rock on my iHeartRadio app and
Yeah,
80s. That's
yeah,
basically all I listen to.
yeah. I picked up too much stuff this week. I don't know. I had a little bit. Sometimes, some weeks it's heavy, and some weeks it's hardly anything. I hardly get anything.
Well, I know Ken
Yeah,
from Mid Level Media always puts out a couple like Instagram things of what's coming out and stuff,
yeah,
on Tuesdays. But like, like if you watch my videos on Kenny's
yeah,
Movie Palace, I just basically am like a Salvation Army, Blue Goodwill. I don't pick anything up like like right out at Tuesday.
yeah,
Unless I really, 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 really want to see it. And that's especially these days. There's nothing that like will strike my fancy on day one. As much as I loved Guardians 3, I declined it on my Disney Movie Club. Because I'll just wait for it to come out, at a lower price. Because on
yeah,
Black Friday they're going to have them for probably like $10 or $5 or something like that. Because they got, especially if you go to Best Buy and stuff. Like I watch a lot of the hauling videos and shopping and stuff, and they still have like a ton of Black Adam and Avatar that didn't sell. You know,
yeah,
so I'm not
yeah.
I'm not one. I Hey, more power to them that they have the money to do that, but I'm in no
And
position to spend a lot of money.
no, I agree. I find uh, I would say I'd say in the next several years we'll probably start seeing a lot of stuff sold used. I believe a lot of people will get out of physical media.
I
I
think
think
you're
so.
right.
It's won't be soon, but it'll be. It's kind of crazy how people turn their back. It's crazy what you find in used stores. Like I find. like I go to we got a place called Half Price Books, and they sell this wasn't a what I picked up here. This wasn't a really good deal. It's just something. It was like $17, but it's from a company called Yellow Veil, which I don't think I own anything from Yellow Veil.
I've
It's
never heard
called,
of
but
them.
it's called Faults. It's like it sounds kind of interesting. Um, hang on a second here. Even with my glasses, in the dark, it's hard for me to see this. It says Claire is under the grip of a mysterious new cult called the Faults. Desperate to be okay, hang on a second. Desperate to be reunited with their daughter, Claire's parents recruit one of the world's most foremost experts in mind control, Ansel Roth. I'm sorry, I'm reading it like I don't know how to read, but I'm reading it
No,
through a magnifying glass, and I can only see part of it at a time. Yeah, it's about she's like a mind control person, and she's going to deprogram the kid that had been kidnapped by this cult. And like it says, halfway through the mind control thing, she's wondering if she's the one being mind controlled instead of being programmed instead of deprogramming it. So it sounded interesting, so I picked it up.
well, John,
Okay,
let's make
yeah.
that our Tubi pick of the week to watch, and we can discuss
Okay.
next week because it's also on Tubi.
Awesome.
I just looked it up.
Nice. I picked this up as well. This is you've probably seen that as well. Hackers 4K Steelbook.
Oh yeah, I seen that in the movies when it came out.
Yeah, I think I did too. Pretty sure I did as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the guy that played see I know his name, but like he was in a TV show that I really liked on ABC called Eli Stone. Where basically every episode was about a George Michael song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But he was also in Sherlock Elementary.
Okay.
Johnny Lee Miller.
Yeah, Johnny Lee Miller. Yeah, he was in that. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. That Elementary is one I needed to watch. I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan, and that was supposed to be good. I never watched. I watched a lot of Sherlock Holmes, and
yeah, Elementary was a very good show, and it's not bad when you watch Lucy Liu either.
Yeah, some people liked it better than this is coming from some British people like it better than the actual Sherlock Holmes. The Sherlock show. This Sherlock, not Sherlock Holmes, just Sherlock.
Yeah, with Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Yeah,
yeah.
I watched the first season of that, and I really liked it. I just never. There was like
I did too.
So much, other stuff that got pushed to the back.
I seen this one video of a guy breaking it down, and he just tore the new one. He broke it down
really
in comparison to actual Sherlock Holmes tales and stuff like this. And yeah, but I liked it as a show too. I don't go into it that deep of exploration of it. Some people can break stuff down like that. I like that too. I like when people can tear something apart, and that's maybe bull crap, but I didn't really think that show so much was. I wouldn't go into that much detail of breaking it down. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know some people do that with CSI too. They break it down too much,
Yeah. This is another Half Price Books Half Price Books buy I found, and this was actually another movie with Alexandra Daddario. This has got Alexandra Daddario. She's another hottie. And it's also got Henry Cavill and Ben Kingsley. It's called Night Hunter.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it, so I picked it up. It's $8.99, so it wasn't too bad. Problem with Half Price Books is they got people that work for them who look up prices of things. So they don't they don't have like general cheap pricing. So everything they look up, they see how much it's worth, and they sell it. Like they go like to eBay and see how much the average pricing is on things, and
yeah,
that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
So like a while back, there's a Robotech set that's out on Blu-ray. Like I have the Robotech on DVD, but I've been wanting to buy the Blu-ray for a long time, and they put this real nice set out. And I went in there and it's like $250 or something like that.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and they had one in there, and it was like 200. And I thought, well, it's $50 cheaper. I'm gonna look at it and see what I think about it, and might buy it. So I got her to get it out of the case. I looked at it like it's like a box set, okay, and
Oh, okay.
the outer box and just the DVDs are inside, and and the outer box is like this flimsy cardboard, okay. But
Wow.
I never, when I touched it, it's like a flimsy cardboard, and inside of it, like, other than the DVDs, it's just like it comes with like this toy. It comes with like a toy, like Robotech robot, like a
Oh, okay.
little one, and then the movies, and I'm like, what the hell is worth two? Because you can buy like all three. It's like three different sets of Blu-rays, and I think if you just buy the Blu-ray sets, it comes out to be about $150 if you just buy them separately. Okay, and they're like $50 a piece or something like that. It's not ridiculous for anime, but and I was like, I'm not paying 200 for this, like, because it's in a cheap ass box. Just, and I'm not paying that extra money for a toy in there that I don't really want.
Right.
And that's all it was. And I was like, hell, I was like, I looked at it for a second. I was like, no, you can put it back. I'm not buying this, even for $50 off. Because I think it's actually, it'd be cost you like 120 or $30 for all three. Because two of them I think are $50 because they're two full sets, and then one of them's like a part. The last set's like more partial. It's not as big of a set. I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
like $30. It's like 130 or something. I can't remember. I never did buy any of it. So one of these days I will buy it, but I just haven't done it.
Check on the eBay because
Yeah,
sometimes, especially there's one guy I like shopping from, Blow It Out
yeah,
of Here,
yeah,
and he has very good prices, and I think he
yeah.
gets like so much stuff in there, and he just likes, as his site's called, blow it out of here. He just wants to get it out of his store.
Yeah, people like that are good. Sometimes you can find good deals. Like I do that with all like TV box sets. I collect a lot of TV, and like if I'll go to Amazon sometimes and look it up, and it'll have some ridiculous price on there. And I thought, well, let me check on eBay, and you'll go in there and you'll find it like the whole set for like less than $50 sometime for something it's all like $100 on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. But then sometimes people's got top dollar on things on there as well. Sometimes
Oh
you can't
yeah.
find a deal on anything, especially out of print stuff. They just jack the price on it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if you watched him D from Movie Bag. He's very good.
Yeah.
He's his channel is called the Movie Bag,
Yeah.
and he has like two constant sellers that he goes to on, and he gets like really good deals on eBay. It's Second Sale and what was the other one? Go Peachy. And sometimes you can get like they have like 5 for 10, buy five get 10 free, and I mean they jack up their Blu-rays to like $6.99 or something. But I've bought from them before, and I thought they were all good, you know. Um, second sale's good, but like sometimes I've bought from them, and like like one time I ordered five five DVDs or Blu-rays. It's usually DVDs. I don't care about the quality. I'm not too much with the high end stuff. So as long as I can watch the movie, I'm fine. But two two of them I was supposed to get five, and there was only three in the case. And then the one that was in the case was like not even in there. So I they like refunded me the money. They actually refunded me the whole order. They didn't even for the other two, and they just said sorry about that. So they were very good with their customer service. But I've bought from them before, and I haven't had any problems. So Yeah, there's certain people on eBay that I really do. There's a mother and daughter that apparently I don't know if they just take the codes out of their movies and then just sell the movies, but I've gotten like great deals from them for
Yeah.
for movies that had just been out like for a couple months or something like that. So I'm fine with that. I don't need the slip cover or anything like that. I just want to watch the movie, you know.
Yeah, I just found that Robotech. It's the complete. Well, I can't look back on it again. It's like in a different box, but it's like the same artwork, but
Uh huh.
it's like a slim, look a hard box, so like a thick cardboard box,
Oh, okay.
and it looks like it has the whole thing for is $110 for all of it.
That's
And
not bad if you want it.
yeah, it was actually pretty good deal. So yeah, I'll probably pick that up. Yeah, see that complete series like I was talking to you about. That's it's this is I don't know if you that translates or not, but that's the big box I was talking about. It's still going for like $200 on eBay,
Oh,
and
that's nice.
that one looks used too. Which the one I was looking at was used as well, but yeah, that's high. But yeah, I always like Robotech a lot. So I like some anime. I like mostly the robot fighting stuff and more sci-fi. I don't like horror anime, and there's some weird shit. I ordered some yesterday that looks kind of strange, but I think it'll be pretty good. That somebody else did, or somebody another channel that I watched. It's not a they're not like a movie channel. He's like a law channel, but he likes anime a little bit, and he was talking about it, and I thought, yeah, that sounds pretty bizarre. So I'm going to check that out sometimes.
Yeah,
But
I tried to because I have Max on streaming service, and I tried to watch because I was a really big fan of the first Batman,
yeah,
the Mask of the Phantasm. I liked that because I had it in that clamshell VHS box. I
yeah,
tried to get into some of like the anime Batman stuff because I love Batman.
yeah.
I just couldn't get into it. I don't know if it's just just me or I love the Batman movies because I've watched them over and over and over and over again. You know,
That
but
Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is really good. That
is it
crossover they did, yeah, it is good. It's actually good. Yeah,
now? I'll have to go and watch that now
yeah, yeah,
because if people
yeah,
recommend stuff to me, I'm up for anything. I'll
yeah,
try anything. But
yeah.
yeah, there's just like certain things that I like. I'm not a big anime guy. Like I remember there was when I worked at the movie place, there was this kid that came in every day and rented one uh, Akira. Is that it?
Yeah.
Akira. I took it home because he had said, "Oh, dude, you got to watch this." I'm like, "All right, well, when you bring it back, I'll take it home and watch." So he brought it back and rented
Phew.
another Japanese animation ones, and
Uh,
I couldn't get into it. You
that's
know.
good. Oh yeah, I like it. I
Oh,
like
okay.
that movie.
Hey,
That's a
to each
that's a
his own.
classic, man. That's a classic. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I couldn't get into it, and there was another
Ghost in the
vampire one,
Shell.
Vampire
Go
Blood or
yeah.
something. I
Ghost
like
in
the
the
Ghost in
Shell's
the Shell
another.
movie with uh, Scarlett Johansson. I like that. I didn't know that was
eh,
based on a animated until when I went to order it.
Yeah.
It came up as animated, and I'm like, no, I want the Scarlett
Well,
Johansson one.
that the animated's much better. Yeah.
Oh, is it? See,
Yeah.
I don't
See, that's
know.
why I didn't like the Scarlett Johansson movie as much.
Oh,
It
okay, because
wasn't
you've
until
seen the
yeah.
gotcha.
And there's some other stuff that goes into it too. There's like a Ghost in the Shell 2 that come out later on. And then there's like a TV show, which I haven't seen every bit of that stuff, but I've seen Ghost in the Shell 2, but I haven't seen I may have seen some of the TV show. They had like a series that came out as well. So yeah,
Oh,
but that's good. And I've seen a lot of the Ghibli stuff, the Studio Ghibli that you see all the time that people so entranced over. People talk about it all the time, and like
oh yeah, they love
Howl's
that
Moving
shit.
Cat. And some of them are good, but I've got several of them. I got several of them on Steelbook that came out a few years ago. I didn't buy all of them, but there's about 10 of them, I think, and they're good. They're good movies, but I don't like every single one of them. So
Yeah, that's like a series I just can't get into.
yeah.
I just I tried. I'll put like my thing, especially like for my Dollar Tree theater. If it doesn't
Yeah.
grab me in the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm out.
Hang
You
on a
know?
second. Let
Okay.
me go find some. You can keep on talking. I can hear
Yeah.
you.
So I don't know about you guys out there with the Dollar Tree. I have like a lot of if you watch my series What's in the Box on Kenny's Movie Palace, free plug. Um I get a lot of Dollar Tree because when you're spending $1, $1.25 for a movie now, you don't mind blowing that money to try it. Um, if it doesn't grab me in the first 20, out. I am out. Especially, I see like especially these horror channels. They like these Wild Eye movies by these Polona brothers or something like that. Oh, there you go. That's it, Akira. That's beautiful.
This is a
Oh wow, that's nice. Damn, I wish I would have known you before. I would have you could have paid for shipping for the for my laser discs.
yeah. Yeah, this is a nice set. I think this is CAV too, but which is annoying a little bit. I mean, my players I have the changers that when it changes by itself the sides, but
Oh, look at you, fancy dancy.
yeah, well,
I
they're
had the
not
one
cool.
where you had to flip over.
This kind of stuff here would be very annoying with CAV. The CAV was it's the longer, it's a short play, higher quality. It had slightly higher resolution, but you only got 30 minutes per side.
Right.
So
Now, how does that? How do the laser discs stand up to like 4K and stuff now?
well, not at all, but I mean,
No, okay. Dude,
I
I
mean,
don't know because I don't have a 4K player. I just have a Blu-ray player. So
well, I don't know. Like what I always liked about there was something always about laser discs. What I liked about them was it seems like you always got a there's something about them like the transfers. They're obviously not very high. They're just a little bit better than VHS, a little bit higher, like 300 or something, P or something, 320 or something like that. They're a little bit
okay.
higher. Obviously, you get a better audio experience because it's digital audio.
Yeah.
So that was the big sell point for a lot of aficionados, you know, film buffs of the era. So, and so but what I liked about them is I think a lot of transfers you see still they weren't like digitally cleaned up like you would see with DVD. So you would get like kind of you still get the beep bleeps and bumps and stuff and squiggle marks like you would have in a cinema, the old cinema experience,
Mm-hmm.
like on film. So it would feel like it feels like you're kind of watching a film, watching it on film almost. So that's what
Right.
I like about it. You still got that analog experience. It's just not high quality, but some stuff looks decent, but it's just I don't know. like that's what turned me on about watching them. Actually, the reason I got into collecting, like for years, I'd been interested because when I was a kid, I didn't knew nothing about Laserdisc because where we lived at, nobody had a player. Like even my uncle, who was big into big into like stereos and technology. When I was a kid, didn't even have one. You know, I didn't really know. I'd never heard of Laserdisc until this. I used to have a next door neighbor, and their nephews used to come down. And I was friends with one of them, and he was telling me about watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail on Laserdisc, and his stepdad had a Laserdisc player. He was from like Cincinnati, so
Oh,
like
okay.
he and and I was like, what is that? Laserdisc, and yeah, these big, whatever. Um, but like the way I got into it was like my uncle used to own some apartments. He had my grandparents owned some apartments, and like when they got out of it, they like give him like one of their apartment. I think it technically belonged to my dad and my uncle, but my dad and uncle ended up having it. And he had a renter who didn't pay his rent and just kind of abandoned a bunch of stuff. He just left and abandoned like a whole apartment full of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And like he had a bunch of stuff and they moved it all out and had to move it into like one of our sheds we have here on our farm. And for a long time, it just a bunch of stuff set in there, and there was like a media rack that he had, and it looked like, and I'd seen it before, but I never looked through it, and I looked through it one day, and I thought, is that a Laserdisc player in there? And so I pulled it out, and it was like a Laserdisc player. And I thought, I'm taking that home.
Right.
and it was actually just what is it? It's one of the
I had a Pioneer. Was it a Pioneer?
yeah, it's a Pioneer. I think all mine are Pioneers I bought. I've never bought anything higher end ones. Or well, Pioneer has the high end ones, but it's a Pioneer, but it's the one that you can plug in the video game systems into it. It had like
Oh, nice.
it had like a adapter bay that you can put like a Sega Genesis in, and they came with these little like these little docks that would slide into it. And it would become like a game adapter,
Oh,
and
that's
it did
nice.
more. Yeah, so it's kind of a interesting piece. It's not rare by any means, but but I don't have any of the game systems that go with it. It just was the player. But so I bought a couple of discs, and I bought a couple of discs and kind of found out the player it has like probably like a bad capacitor going in it, because you can hear like in the audio it would have clicking, like when you could
Oh,
hear it
okay.
like spinning. It was like a constant clicking. So it was something I possibly could have repaired, but just didn't feel like tearing it down, because they're like a pain in the butt to tear them apart to get all the stuff out of them. So I started looking on eBay for a new player. So I found a guy in Columbus, Ohio, which is about 3.5 hours away from me, who was selling one. And the one he had was he was selling it, and like I don't know, it's about 30 discs. And he said, make it was like make an offer kind of thing. It was like $150 or make an offer. So I offered him like $100 or something, or 120 something, just to make an offer. And he's like, come and get it.
Oh,
So,
cool.
but the disc player was supposedly didn't work. He said the tray wouldn't come out. So I was like, well, for the price, like I've been watching videos of people repairing them, and I thought, well, maybe I think I know how to repair this one. A lot of times the grease would dry up on the tracks and wouldn't let them slide out. I thought it'd
Right.
be an easy repair, so I got home with it, and excuse me, I got home, and I plugged it in. I thought, well, I'm gonna check this out, and so I hit the eject button, and it wouldn't eject at first. So something looked off on the tray, so I just kind of pushed on the tray and kind of just pushed on a little bit, and then hit the eject button again, and it popped right out. And it's worked
Oh, nice.
perfectly ever since. It's worked perfectly.
That's great.
Yeah, it didn't have anything wrong with it. But it's actually it's one that has it has the carriage in it that flips from A to B side automatically. And
Nice.
it's like it was a DVD player. It came out in 1997, but he had the instruction manual with it, remote, the whole 9 yards. The guy that sold it
That's great.
me, and he had bought it from the original owner, who kept everything. And the guy also had the original
Receipt.
receipt stapled inside the instruction manual.
Wow.
And it was like $9.99 new in 1997.
Wow.
Like in 97, like $1,000. That's almost like at the time when I bought it, it was like 2017 or something, 18, and that'd been like, it's like basically $1,500. You know, I couldn't imagine even paying that kind of money for anything at that time. I was poor then, you know, just out of high school and making $8 an hour wherever I was working. Can imagine saving up and buying one of those. You could get them in those days for like $500 and stuff like that, but yeah.
I got one back in '97 because the first movie that I got from on Laserdisc was Usual Suspects. Because I was just I had told you and Mike I was infatuated with the audio commentary. I just thought that was pretty cool because you didn't see that before. And then I got that's when I worked at Movies Unlimited and I got 20% off.
No.
But the discs were like $35.
Yeah.
So, but I was into Steven Seagal back then.
Yeah.
In the mid '90s, so I had like Under Siege 2, Hard to Kill, Above the Law, all of his ones on Laserdisc. That's why I said to you, I wish I would have known you before I moved. You could have just paid the shipping cost to ship it. That damn thing was heavy. That crate was heavy.
Hang on a second here. Some kind of gross. I think it had a bug crawling on it. It looked like a stink bug. I hope those things aren't starting to come out. Do you guys get them there?
Yep.
Yeah, I hope I don't want to start seeing these things already.
Cockroaches.
Yeah, I think I killed him. I heard him crunch.
Oh, that's good.
I hate those things. I don't know why. I hate them. They get in the house. They get in our house, and I don't know. They're just weird. There's something weird about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's where I didn't grow up with them, and it's foreign. Where they just invaded the last decade, probably, of this area. And probably where you're at as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just some kind of foreign. If you grew up with them, used to them, you probably don't care. And they don't inherently really stink when you kill them. They have a weird odor, but it don't really stink. It's just gross. It's just weird. Yeah.
I remember being terrified of cockroaches and growing up in Philly.
Yeah.
You had a lot of cockroaches back then. So it was just like, I remember screaming, Mom, they're attacking me and my brother standing on the toilet, being afraid of this, like little thing,
Some insects are gross like that. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right about stink bugs.
I picked this up as well.
Oh, okay. That's a fun one.
Yeah. I'm interested in rewatching it because I haven't really seen it as a kid. And I think as a kid, I didn't really enjoy it just because it wasn't what I expected. So I assume watching as an adult, I think I'll enjoy it much better.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's where I think you got the fat bastard part from, like the dad in that. You got a big head. Move your head when they're sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah. I got this as well. I Know What You Did Last Summer, 4K.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah, that's an all right one. Haven't watched that in a long time either. Like I was saying, I bought too much this week. It's just one of my, up weeks and pay weeks too. So I picked this
It's
up. I
okay.
thought this was interesting. Swamp Thing.
Yeah, there's one
Swamp
I seen.
Thing.
I seen on one channel, Jeff 3Man16,
Yeah.
and he got it from the distributor. I don't know which distributor it was or something. And
Yeah.
I think it was the Blu-ray one had staff picks, Movies Unlimited. And when I seen that, I just smiled because I remember putting those stickers on the VHS tapes when
Yeah.
we got new stuff in, you know, or we went around to what if we liked a movie, you know. But
That's cool.
yeah, I think it was the Blu-ray version of it.
That's
But
cool.
that's a good movie. Swan. That was another one. Did you like the? Did you ever watch the series?
Yeah, I think I did. I remember the series. Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame it only got one season. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, it's I reminisce on all that stuff in the '90s. The '90s is. I don't know if the newer generation, if they don't know, they can't understand. I don't really like being old. Well, back in my day, it was like, it was so much better. I can't say it is or it isn't, but I don't know. I think that the '90s and '80s too as well, but the '90s was a really special time for television.
Yeah, well, the '80s for me because I grew up in the '80s, so
Yeah,
that was like really, uh,
yeah.
really pivotal, time for me. Because
Well, I did.
I was a little kid in the '70s, you know.
Yeah,
So it's like basically in the '70s, you were just like the coolest thing I ever had in the '70s was well, I had a lot of cool stuff, but um, my mom got me and my brother the Evil Knievel stunt cycles
yeah,
where you crank that sucker up, you hit it, and it just took off, and we
yeah.
would like turn our living room into like uh, going off the cushions and stuff, and my mom would throw flour for the fire. It was
I
just
had
like
one of
goofy
those.
stuff. Oh,
I
you
had one
did?
of those. Yeah.
I'd love to get one again. I'd
It,
probably cry my eyes out if I ever got it, you know? But
yeah, I don't know. It was when I was real young when I had it. I probably eventually tore it up playing with it so much, but I don't remember it that well, but I remember having it though.
and then we also
'Cause-
had this was another good Christmas one. Was the kicker, like the football guy, and you popped its head and
Oh
it
yeah,
kicked the field goal, you
that's
know?
cool.
We had hours of fun with that.
Yeah.
So
That's
kids
the one.
today don't.
Yeah, I was. You finish your thought. I think we had the same thought. The kids
Yeah, I
today
said
don't.
kids. Yeah, they wouldn't appreciate that, if
Well,
it's
they
not
just don't have
electronic.
toys. Yeah, they don't have toys like they used to. There's still toys out there, but I think all the toys you see at like Target and places like that now, that's adults buying them.
Yeah,
They're geared for adults because it's like a lot of nostalgic stuff, He-Man and Transformers and stuff like that. And
especially the Ninja Turtles.
mm,
I wasn't like I was like at the store that I worked at, Caldor. We sold a lot of those, Ninja Turtles, like in the early
yeah,
'90s. So I remember, kids your age were probably like super into that. I just did. I never got into, you know, getting
yeah,
that.
I was real big. I have a bunch of the toys, and and they're all actually my toy. They're actually still in decent shape too. They're like originals. I
Oh,
don't have
that's great.
boxes or nothing like that, but but I have like the sewer toy and like the van they had and stuff like that. And I don't have everything, but I had a bunch of different things. Like, but they're one of my toys that didn't get destroyed. Like my Transformers were destroyed just by where I played with them so much, and He Man were the same way. There's nothing a lot. There's not a lot left. I still have like the Castle Grayskull, which is you can't see it. It's up above my head there. The
Oh, okay.
original Castle Grayskull. I have that, and like I have the original um, Snake Mountain, which was Skeletor's lair. I have that still, but I have some of the original action figures still left, but a lot of that stuff got played. A lot of it was in decent shape, and I think my mom let my cousins play with it,
Hmm.
and they destroyed it because some of that stuff was in much better shape when I'd finished playing with it, and she let them play with some of that stuff, which I begged her not to. when I was a kid, and she let them do it anyways, and they destroyed stuff.
Yeah, we had like in the 80s, we my mom had bought us the WWF wrestling ring, and like
Yeah,
the original like action figures for like Hulk
yeah,
Hogan and Iron Sheik and JYD. And I remember we just had them, and we were just had them like in our playroom and stuff, our movie room and stuff. And mom goes, "When are you going to get rid of them?" I'm like, "Never." So she just said, "Oh well, why don't you give it to your cousin?" And like
yeah.
he just ripped them to shreds. He was a little guy getting into wrestling, and we just thought, he would like that. And it was like go in, he had like sawed the head off with a knife, and I was just like, "Oh, what did you do?" You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, my cousin would he would like if the toys were not cleaned up, he had a basement. So he like threw all the toys down there, and he threw like the ring down there, and the ring got busted. I was just like crying. And mom goes, "You guys can keep your toys."
Yeah, all that stuff too. There's so much. I think that's why you see so much nostalgia for. I mean, for like the 80s and 90s. Maybe it was 2 decades it was more nostalgic to be for than because I when I was it might be the same way for you, like the 60s and 70s, I wasn't really that nostalgic for. Music maybe, but not that's it. But there I wasn't like really into their pop culture, anything else really in pop culture except for movies when I got older. But as a
Right,
kid, like I'm like a teenager, I wasn't nostalgic for the 70s or 80s, not really. 60s or excuse me, the 60s or 70s. Kind of I'm saying you're going back 20 years from when you were born. Kind of it'd
right.
be kind of like late 50s for me, stuff like that. When I got older, I was more nostalgic for those eras for different things and exploring it. But these kids, I can see them, kind of going back. But I think that's all they have because the last 2 decades are bland,
Yeah,
for pop culture. I mean, there's some good TV shows, but as far as pop culture and like, you know, like really great, like He-Man, Transformers, stuff like that they don't have that stuff like we do. All they have is video games, and that's about it.
yeah, and all the stuff that they're doing now, they're just recycling stuff from when we were kids, like
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles, and I
yeah,
was like in the '70s, we were obsessed with uh, the super like the meanwhile at the Hall of Justice, the Super Friends, like I had
yeah,
said, we were
yeah,
like, and I remember my mom one year for Christmas, we had to be like, I think we were like 8 and 6. I was 8, my brother was 6, and my
yeah,
mom bought like the Hall of Justice, and she had like all the Mego figures, that came in those like little skinny boxes that you find now. We
yeah,
had like Batman, we had Batman, Robin, Superman, uh, Aquaman. Because I remember my mom saying like later on that she said that um, getting Aquaman was the hardest one to get,
wow.
and
That's
we
really
had
cool
like
that she bought that stuff for you. Yeah,
yeah, because we were obsessed with that. Like we would come home, and we would like we kept our Halloween costumes. Like I was Batman, my brother was Robin, and as soon as we got done homework, we'd go and play it and sit in front of the TV watching the Adam West Batmans in our Batman outfits,
yeah.
like that. Because my
Well,
mom said to us later, she goes, she wishes that she had pictures of us knuckleheads sitting in front of the TV, little
yeah,
black and white 13-inch TV, you
yeah,
know, being obsessed with watching it. So it brings back good memories, like with that.
yeah. It's nice that you had a mom like that. Like my parents, they're good parents, but they just never got any. They don't get stuff like that. Like they don't understand. Like they don't understand what I'm into, like the movie stuff and like like my dad's big into cars and I like cars too and working on them some, but Like that's all he's into. He's like not really. He don't, never had any interest in movies. Not really. Only movie he really ever liked was American Graffiti because it has
Oh,
cars
okay.
in it, you know.
Right.
And and they just don't never really understood. I like a lot of different things, and they just don't understand it. I mean, my mom likes movies, but she likes, she'll watch a lot of those movies on
Hallmark.
what are those Christmas movies that come on? What's that network?
Hallmark.
The Hallmark Network. Yeah, she likes that stuff. She'll watch that stuff, and like she reads a little bit. I like to read, but she'll read, but she like reads like those Amish books and stuff like that. She reads stuff like
Oh,
nothing
okay.
challenging, nothing that really challenges. But I'm glad she reads. That's great that she reads. So many
Yeah.
people don't, and
That was another
so
thing that was really big, and I don't know about you. Like on Sundays, we used to go to not Sundays, Saturdays, Saturday mornings when we were a kid. Mom used to take us to the library all the time, so
yeah,
we go and get books like the most allotted because me and my brother are like big readers. My mom was never a reader, and she
yeah,
was like, "You guys are just like my her father, our grandpa," because
yeah.
she said my grandpa would read all the time. So
That's cool.
I still like to read because I just got from that second sale eBay thing. I like Coben
Yeah,
Harlan Coben books, and I got
yeah.
them. They were like hardback books. They were like only $3 with
Nice.
free shipping and handling, and you're getting one free. So I think I got I think I got 3 books, and it was like five something all told. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying Audible here lately. I have one book, the first book I'm listening to on right now. So, and I'm gonna try that out for a while because I've here lately I've found myself not reading very much. I've been consuming more movies and stuff, and
hmm
there's just so much stuff. It's been I got in a bad cycle of not wanting to read. I feel like I don't have time to do it for some reason. I have all the time in the world not working, so
right.
it's kind of weird when you don't work. I don't know how you feel about it, but like some people, when you work, you're like, man, I love to not have to work. And then when you don't have a work,
You wish you could go to back to work.
yeah, it's like you're not real productive with your time a lot of the time, most
Yeah,
of the time.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Because sometimes it's like this morning I got up and I was up and showered by 6:30.
yeah,
You know, put my tea water on, and I was watching a movie by 6:30
yeah,
today. Was that Bering Sea movie? So I'll sit
yeah,
with my tea. And I just like see. I never get bored with myself. I know, like my cousin will say, I can't see you just watching movies like all day. But I
yeah,
never get bored because I don't watch the same movie.
yeah,
I'll watch like a drama, then I'll watch like I've been trying to get into like horror movies, but they just sometimes they like upset me
yeah.
too much that I can't get into them. Like I watched I tried to watch Sound of Freedom, the new movie that's just out. Uh, John, I lasted. If you can sit through it, God bless you, and you're a better person than me.
I went to the
I
theater and seen it this week. I liked it. It was good. Yeah,
I lasted 20 minutes when he was having the conversation with the guy in jail, and then when they were going to Mexico, and the little kid was in the back seat named Teddy Bear or something like
yeah,
that. Oh my! I literally had. I'm sitting here and I'm watching it. I literally had tears running down my face, and it was just like, oh, I can't upset myself this much just too early in the
yeah,
morning, And Caviezel was good.
yeah.
What I seen, like I said, I only seen the first 20 minutes of it, John. It really upset me. So you really liked
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they don't show anything. Nothing gets shown,
No, but even
but
like
they should.
the parts, where they had the little kids like on the bed and stuff, and then like the adult
Yeah,
would come over, and
yeah,
that was just making me very
yeah,
uneasy. I don't do good with that stuff. Anything like abusing women or abusing
yeah,
like kids or something like that, you know. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm really turned off by anything like that.
Well, I mean, it's to bring awareness to that. But the worst part about all that stuff is there's people out there, like there's a lot of liberals out there that almost deny that stuff happens. Like I have friends like
Oh,
that. Like I got into him one night. One of my friends is kind of a liberal, and he is a liberal. But I was brought up like Epstein. He said you have to bring up, he's like, Epstein's like a cop out. And I was like, well, you don't believe that stuff really happens? He's like, oh, well, I guess, it's like for some reason, like Trump broke people. Like Trump being elected broke people. And, Trump is whatever he is. I don't know if he's real or fake or if, this asshole put in just like the rest of the presidents for a purpose, whatever. But regardless, he broke people like Joe Biden, he's an idiot, but I don't hate, he didn't break me, him being elected, because I know how the system works. But these people, they just like, it just broke their minds when he got elected. It don't make any sense.
yeah, I just that's one thing I like. When I was a kid, I used to like really like be into politics and stuff like that. But there was a guy that played on our team, the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, and
Yeah.
his name was John Runyon. He was an offensive lineman,
Yeah.
and he got elected to Congress from Jersey. Okay, and I remember him. He could have got reelected, and he could have stayed there for like years. Okay, because he was
Yeah.
that popular, like in his district and around this town and stuff like that. And I remember him going on our local sports radio show, WIP here in Philly, and him saying that half of the senators wouldn't show up for, and have
Yeah.
their assistants vote, you know, and nothing got done. Like he said, he had brought up proposals the first day, that he was in there, and those senators work two. They're elected for a 2 year. Every two
Yeah.
years they get nominated and have the campaign and stuff. He said he tried like every way to get proposals done and stuff, and they would just ignore them. It was just like that. They were like he said it was like total vacation, like all the time for these senators and stuff. And
Well,
he
they
said,
get,
"Go
go
ahead, I'm
ahead.
sorry."
No, you go ahead. I broke in
No,
on you.
he just said, and he just basically said that's why nothing gets done in this country because nobody gives a shit, basically, to get
They
anything.
just get in there to make a bunch of money.
Yeah, and he gets a lifetime pension of $120,000 because he was elected senator.
Yeah.
So until he dies, he gets $120,000.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I want to smack my guidance counselor, because
Yeah.
it's just like because you can, I guess you throw your morals away when you go into politics or some,
Yeah.
I just I'm not a I can't lie to anybody, you know.
Yeah.
I just can't. I just if there's something wrong, I'll bring it up to you,
Yeah.
and say something. I have, as my mom would say, I like she was bad too because my mom had no filter. So
Yeah.
I'm like my mom. I have no filter for bullshit, you know, and I just can't see people just basically like lying to you all the time, you know.
Yeah. Well,
That's how I
hey,
am, and I just I used to be really into politics and trying to want to help people and stuff like that, and I just you just run into all these roadblocks trying to help people because I actually think that people don't want any help anymore. You
yeah.
know, that's just my personal opinion. Sorry, folks, about the political shit.
No, it's all right. It's a mess. Our country's a mess right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's got to be some stuff done, especially with lobbying. It's going to have to be outlawed. No lobbying, and what else? Something else that needs to be stopped is people going from corporations to government agencies, like somebody running a government agency like the CDC or something like that, or like, the FDA or something, and going to the food industry and then going back and forth, this crisscrossing of, so if they're just basically doing favors for each other all the time and just fucking over the common person, we're living in like a corporatocracy, we're not, it's not a democracy anymore. It's just headed closer and closer to totalitarianism, it's the complete corporate takeover of the country, which it already is, like jobs are horrible. If you go get a job, none of these companies care about you at all. That's just trying to make maximum profit. They just don't care about anybody. They work people to death, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, I was just talking to my buddy today. Unfortunately his uncle passed away yesterday, and he he wanted to take like bereavement off so he could, and they wouldn't give it to him. I'm like, dude, it's your uncle.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, well, unless it's my mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, it doesn't accompany to aunts and uncles. And I'm like, it's your first uncle, it's not like, your sixth uncle, on your mom's side kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, because his family's originally from Chicago.
Yeah.
So he was going to have to, go to Jersey, with his dad. I mean, this is his dad's brother.
Yeah.
And his dad's 80 years old, So, he's letting his mom and dad go on a road trip by themselves because, they won't give them off for it. And I'm like, just go in and say, dude, my uncle died. Sorry, you're gonna have to, unfortunately he's one of these people that, don't think that the place will run without him.
Yeah.
It's sad to say. And I've tried, and my mom tried to talk to him about it,
Yeah.
but it's like there's no getting through with them, so.
Yeah. There's not a company out there, no matter what position you're in, you could be the president of the company and you could quit. It'd run just fine without the.
Yep.
They wouldn't miss a beat.
Yep. My mom always said there's another sucker that'll take your job.
Well, to kind of round out the last 10 minutes, I just want to wonder, have you seen this? I haven't watched it. Yes.
That movie is funny. I've watched it twice. I watched it with my nieces when I was down in Florida. That movie, I'm telling you right now, Craig Robinson as the shark is absolutely hysterical. Awesome. John, you're gonna love that movie.
Well, I wanted to see it in the theater and I never did, and it was one that I kept seeing the previews. I was like, this actually looks kind of good, and
it's basically a ripoff of Mission Impossible.
It's DreamWorks, isn't it?
It's great. I really, really had fun with that. I actually bought a copy out because it was on the last summer. It was on the Peacock.
Yeah.
And I watched it again, like after I came back from Florida. I watched it again. It was on Peacock, and I'm like, let me see if my seller on eBay has it. And she had it for $5. I bought it for $5. So I was like, done. And I watched it again on the Blu-ray for that. I like that movie. You're gonna like it, dude. It's really fun.
Cool. I picked up this at Half Price Books as well. This is another. It was a Criterion Blu-ray I picked up, so it was like $20. But it's called Mickey and Nicky. It's got Peter Falk and John Cassavetes.
I never heard of that. I heard of Mickey and Maude.
Yeah.
With Dudley Moore. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's some kind of. I'm not going to read this whole description here. I can't. It's dark in here, so it's hard for me to see it. So.
And it's called Mickey and Mickey.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of like about I guess a guy owes like somebody money, and I don't. I'm sorry, that's bad. I can't see it even with my thing very well tonight. I apologize, everybody.
Who's the star? Peter Falk?
Yeah, John Cassavetes.
Okay. I'm looking it up right now. So
if you can see a better description of it on there.
Yeah.
In the future, I'm going to be better prepared on these shows.
No,
getting
I think this is fun, doing it like this because,
yeah
if something pops into your head, that's why it's always great. I have IMDb right on my phone. So and I is that a 70s movie? Oh, there it is. Mickey and Nicky,
yeah
1976. Um, Nicky is on the run from the mob and turns to his old pal Mikey for help. Oh, wow, ooh, this is gonna be a good one, John.
yeah
Elaine May wrote it,
okay
and it's on, for you people out there that wanna see it, it's on Max.
okay excellent. I picked that copy of Heat 4K. I think it was like really cheap. I
Oh,
think it was
okay,
like
cool.
$5 or something like
That's a
that.
great
So
movie.
yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend
Uh,
that one's a really good one too. You had a nice week of pickups.
yeah, it's been a pretty good one. I don't know how the next week will be, but I may get on that. I may get on Hamilton and see what they've got. I haven't been on there a long time, so
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, that is my kryptonite. But then again, I only go for like the cheap stuff.
yeah,
So like when I do my book calls on Kenny's Movie Palace, um, it's just basically I might spend like maybe $40, you know, but I get
yeah,
a lot for my money because they're usually like a dollar 95, and
yeah,
I'm willing to buy like blind buys that I've never heard of before, especially when they're like 2.95 or something like that.
yeah,
So, but like I'm not into like a lot of the boutique stuff.
yeah.
Because I just I don't because I've been doing reviews for NVD Entertainment lately, and they sent me some nice Arrow titles,
Yeah.
and I just did reviews on on my page for them. They were
How'd
like
you get hooked up with them? I've never really
I
tried to do any of that.
yeah, I just basically there's a couple companies I just wrote. I said to him I had a YouTube page and a Facebook page because I also have a Facebook page where I just
Yeah,
do like it's TVs, movies, music, and stuff on Facebook, and I just basically do like pop culture stuff, like basically like celebrity birthdays,
yeah,
um, and I just wrote to him like out of the blue, you know, because I see like all these people that have like maybe like 10 or 12, followers and stuff, and they do like movie reviews for it. So I'm sitting here watching movies all day. So I'm thinking to myself, why don't I just write the company? So
yeah,
MVD just started sending me stuff like out of the blue. Like, I'll like ask for a screener, but they only get so many screener copies of a movie.
yeah,
Okay. So I just wrote them and I said, listen, I gave them my page and I gave them my YouTube channel, and they must have liked it because they sent me 3 movies last week. So,
nice.
and then I also did for like select horror movies, and like I've gotten like asylum movies, and it basically comes on a screener link I get, and
Yeah,
it says, "Kenny, would you like to screen this one?" So, like I said to you, I'm up for anything,
yeah,
basically, and I get them. I just write my review and I submit it. And um, Terra Films and Asylum were nice enough to use one of my reviews on their site.
nice.
So that's basically all I did, because I see like a lot of these people getting like Warner Brothers, reviews and um, what I think her name's Stephanie Movie Chatter. She's very good. Movie Chatter, Stephanie. She
Yeah,
gets from like Warner Brothers, Paramount Pictures, Mill Creek. You know, my friend Reject Films. He gets like a lot of like screener stuff too. So
Good.
I'm honest about it. If I don't like it, you know, I'll tell you. It's like I said, I have no filter. I'm not going to lie to you about anything, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
cool.
that's basically how I did it. I looked it up on the Yahoo, got their address, and I just wrote them a letter. You know, sent them
Nice.
an email.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it because you know, especially because I got the last time I got Weird Science that I didn't have in my own
Yeah.
personal collection, so that was really good to revisit that again. And it had like a lot of like directors' commentaries and stuff like that. And then also I got like a lot of like stuff that I grew up watching in the '80s, like a lot of the Sammo Hung and uh, Jackie Chan movies, the kung fu movies that Arrow's been putting out. So
Yeah.
it's been nice to revisit everything like that again. You know.
Yeah, I might have to you might have to direct me to the link to
Yeah, I'll send you it. Yeah.
yeah, try to get that. I might try to send it in. I'm not a big reviewer, so I don't know. They might go for it. I don't know how they've had to have 1,000 people asking them all the time. So
Oh yeah. Cause
yeah,
I put it on 3 things. If you're on my Instagram, you know, I put my reviews on my Instagram page, and then I
yeah,
put it on my Facebook blog, and
yeah,
then I review them on my channel.
yeah,
So they're getting 3 different kinds of, you know, views on it. Me talking about it, and then just like what, because I it's funny because I have a notepad in right next to me in my on my couch, my reclining couch,
yeah,
and I just take notes. I go on the IMDb.
yeah,
Basically, there was one movie I watched, and I think it's yeah, this is it.
yeah,
Black Circle.
yeah,
I went into it and I had no idea about it, and it was weird. This is actually a Synapse movie,
yeah,
Synapse company. I had no idea, and it was weird, man. It was it was like
yeah,
really trippy. It's basically these two sisters to get like hypnotized by a record.
yeah.
So
That's pretty cool. Sounding
yeah,
pretty cool. I like to check that one out. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never really pursued it though. I don't really. I guess like everybody. I like to get something free, but it's not a big deal, you know.
yeah. It's not like basically to get it free. It's like I like movies, so
Yeah,
I'm willing to watch anything that
yeah,
people give me. You know,
yeah,
the only thing like with the kids, like hurting the kids and stuff, like the Sound of Freedom.
yeah,
I couldn't take that. That really upset me. Anything with
yeah,
hurting or abusing, you know, somebody, I don't get into that because I get very angry.
yeah. Well, it didn't really have any of that in there. It had them fucking
No, it was
kicking
just
the people's asses who did that stuff. Yeah,
yeah, it was just implied, and I thought it was like because I went into it cold. I just didn't know what it was about. I heard
uh,
like a lot of people talking about it and how his performance was good and stuff. So I was like, oh, let me put it in. And
yeah.
when I got it, it was just like, whoa, you know, it was sort of like I never
Well,
watched.
I don't, but I understand. I understand how he. But what's upsetting is that's happening out there to
Yeah,
thousands and thousands of children, millions, maybe a year. I mean, it's just I can't imagine having a kid and it disappearing like that. And yeah,
no, I could, I
yeah.
no,
And what's crazy is these crazy people that don't believe it's they think they underplay it a lot, especially pedophilia. And seeing
yeah,
that's what's happening. Like on the left, they're trying to, especially within the LGBTQ community, they're trying to normalize that stuff, pedophilia. That's what they want to do is normalize it, and they want to add like a P to the LGBTQ stuff at the end for like
ugh,
pedophilia. Like, and yeah, it's really fucked up. It's like they just want to do just crazy stuff in this country. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't have anything against the LG. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I
Well, I don't have it. Well, I don't like it. I don't like that necessarily that organization, but I don't have a problem with homosexuals at
oh
all.
no,
No,
they're all people. It's just, I just don't understand. I just don't
I,
understand it.
I mean the trans stuff's pretty fucked up, but but if you're an adult, I don't care what you do, but I don't like them messing with the kids. I don't like them
Yeah,
making it so easy for them to get this transitional stuff before they're at an age of reasoning. Like, even at 18, you really brain hasn't developed fully enough to really make that decision to transition, but at least legally you can make that decision on your own.
right.
If you choose to do it then that's fine. But having all these putting kids on hormone blockers and stuff is it's gonna be very damaging in the future. And when we find the effects of all this stuff, and having mastectomies and stuff like that, having their breasts removed and other parts removed at young ages, it's like
Yeah,
I don't
I
understand this.
I don't understand it either. I just I just try to kind of block it out,
Yeah,
because it's like something I if I
yeah,
don't understand, I don't understand, and
yeah,
no, like, talking to me about it is going to make me understand about it.
yeah,
So yeah, I just kind of go, well, it's like there was a radio show I used to love on XM radio was Ron and Fez. They used to come on after Opie and Anthony,
yeah,
and the one guy, the Ron was straight, but Fez was gay,
yeah,
and because Fez would go, "Hi, Ronnie," like talk like that, very flamboyantly and stuff
yeah,
like that. The show was absolutely great, but he was like Ron used to go, and I still say this today. Hey, if they want to marry each other, let them all be miserable, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah,
And I just always laughed at that after that line. And Fez
yeah.
would go, "What do you mean, Ronnie?" And he goes, "You know what I mean. The wife, she's a pain in the ass, Fez." And she goes, "Oh, not your beautiful wife," like that. And it's like, you don't know. Let them all get married and then figure out they'll be tired of them.
Yeah,
You know. So I always thought that was funny. So every time I hear a discussion about like the gay marriage and stuff, and it's like, hey, if you find somebody, God bless you. But
yeah,
it's like I don't understand it. So
yeah,
who am I to say it's wrong?
yeah. Well, I'm about ready to get off here.
All
We're
right,
about
sounds
two
good.
hours and 10 minutes in, so we had a pretty complete show this week.
Yeah, it
Hopefully,
was
Mike will
fun.
be back with us. Whoever was watching tonight, Mike, he just he left me a message there. He thought like that comment I'd made earlier. Well, I told him that this morning that we were going to do it. He didn't think we were having it, so
Oh,
he'll
okay.
hopefully he'll show up next week. He'll be back on with us. So
Yeah, go check out Mike.
me and you. I have a good time just with me and you too as well. So yeah,
Absolutely. We always
yeah,
have fun. We always guys. This ain't scripted. We just come on and
yeah,
just talk about what we're doing. So
yeah. Yeah, we talked at the end of the show last week after we wrapped up. We talked about how we it's just a tape. We're just taping a hangout session. We're just two friends hanging out, just bullshitting about movies, and that's
that's
all.
it.
That's all I really wanted, and it's what any of these shows should be, and most of them are like that.
Hmm.
But I do. I think we do want to have some structure in the future. I don't know if it'll ever get there, but we might have some more pop culture topics and things like that in the future.
Absolutely.
And,
But
and
show
it,
them show them that movie, the Tubi movie of the week.
that is what was that going to be now?
Trackers.
Was it Fault
It's
or was it
yeah, Faults. That's it.
or was that it or was
Yeah,
that
it
that
was
other
fault. It
one?
was Faults because as the movie with Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. It's the one with the writing down the middle of it.
Yep.
That's it right there.
Yes.
That's on
Fault.
Tubi, folks. So we're going to do a review of that next week.
Well, make sure we did that. We never did. We never did the one of Moonfall. Did you ever
No,
check Moonfall out, or is it even on anywhere you can find it?
I think it's on Max. Let me check.
One of these days, I'm gonna get that server. I'm gonna finally get a server going, so I can start sharing movies with you that way and uploading stuff to it. And
Oh, okay.
the
Yes, it's
biggest
on
thing is
Max.
getting good ripping software to rip my movies. Like, and it's all expensive. Like, to get good stuff that actually works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was looking at another one tonight, and it's like $250 for the ripping software.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's like, "Oh, well, you can probably find it free," but I don't roll like that, and I don't. But mainly, I don't like going to those, those sites,
Viruses.
Pirate Bay and stuff like that, and because you get freaking crap on your computer that way, viruses and stuff like, and it's just, yeah, and I rather pay for it legitimately, so you know they don't. I don't know. That's why I like physical media. I just like I want them. I want
I want to hold it.
as much as I can't stand Hollywood in the moment. They I still want them keep making stuff, and
Yeah.
if you steal everything, then they make less money and they can't make stuff. So, you know, I think that's ultimately why this streaming model is going to fail eventually, just because they're not making money from it.
Mm-mm.
Like, they don't make money from like they do putting it in they could be putting it in the theater, and especially with TV shows, they just don't get the advertising money like they think, because nobody, if you have a streaming service, you want to pay for it without commercials,
Yeah.
and like they just don't have that kind of revenue coming in, like, and they're just not making what they think. And yeah,
Well, the streaming services was a good idea at first because
yeah,
everybody's cable bill was like over $200.
yeah,
But the problem with the streaming services, it's so like broken down. Okay, you got to get and then Netflix being complete assholes.
yeah,
Not being able to share passwords with friends or family.
yeah,
You know, so and then my brother said about Disney is going to do the same thing. Well, that's just going to Disney's a friggin' you know family company. So why, when you have your family, borrowing your password to watch, like little kids movies, like how many little kids? I mean, my uncle, take for instance, when he watches his grandsons.
yeah,
Okay, how many times has that man watched Toy Story, or
yeah,
he's watched Good Dinosaur with the kids?
yeah,
Because my uncle doesn't like. He doesn't have a Blu-ray player, so he just depends on Disney or Max or. But like then again, all these streaming services, they keep on upping the prices too. Like Netflix has went up, I think, $3 more.
yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
I only have, thanks to my brother, I have Max, and thanks to my cousin, I have Disney. I don't,
yeah,
because I watch primarily a lot of this stuff, honest to God, John, on Tubi.
yeah. Well, it's expensive out there. I understand. I don't. Well, I'll talk to you a little bit on the off the stream here, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's expensive. I don't. Just lucky to be able to buy what I buy at this point in time, and in the future, it might not be as easy, but
Mm-hmm. You're
for
right.
right now, it's all right. Yeah. Well, everybody, I think we're gonna be finished up this evening, and where can we find you at, Kenny?
I
On
am
the
at Kenny's Movie Palace on YouTube, and I am at Kenny Jones 1969 on or 63 on Instagram.
and Low IQ Media on Instagram and YouTube, and you can find me on Twitter. I think you had to look up Filmological One because my Low IQ got banned a long time ago.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and yep, and I
On
basically
Twitter,
don't do much on Twitter. I can't get nothing going on Twitter,
yeah,
on
Twitter
X.
or X. I'm on.
Yeah.
I am Jericho Kenny on
Okay.
Twitter or X, and then I
Okay.
do a daily blog on, like very daily blog on on Facebook, and it's TVs, movies, music, and stuff. You'll see a big picture of John Candy on it. That's how you'll know it's my page, because basically we've dedicated the site to John Candy. So you'll see him in his sunglasses and hat from Summer Rental.
Nice. Well, until the next time, we will see you guys later.
Thanks for seeing us, everybody. Thank you.